Hello, I'm Quinny. Welcome to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be giving you my thoughts and experiences on collecting in general and how I've actually managed to apply all of that into my SoRare strategy. I hope you enjoy the video. If you do enjoy it, please like it. It means other people might find it and they might like it too. And if you really like the content and you keep coming back and keep watching this stuff, then subscribe to the channel because it really then supports me and helps me grow the channel. Hope you enjoy this one, guys, and let's get stuck into it. Now, I wanted to take this little opportunity right before we dive right into the video, so I've kind of edited and listened it back, and I thought I really want to make this clear before we dive right into it, okay? People who collect things they don't know anything about will pay over the odds. People who collect things they don't know enough about will make mistakes, okay? Everything that I've ever collected in here are things that I have a knowledge of already. Like in here, I've got wrestling stuff, I've got Transformers, I've got a wee bit of Star Wars stuff, a lot of Dragon Ball stuff, and some Turtles, some Sonic, and a bunch of football. You couldn't convince me, ask me, make me collect, I don't know, let's say Thundercats, or, you know, Lord of the Rings, or Barbie, or whatever, because I don't know anything about those things. I don't really have an attachment, an affiliate, you know, I don't have that bond with them, whereas when I pick up something that I grew up with, like a Transformer or whatever, then I have that, you know. So don't force yourself to like something. Don't force yourself to collect something you don't know that much about, because you almost certainly will get burned. You'll either buy something too expensive or you'll buy something that is ultimately worthless, you know, and it's, you know, why, if it was for the purpose of collecting and you knew better, you wouldn't have done it. So one thing I would say when it does come to collecting, and I'll tie this into SoRare and I'll let you get on with the rest of the video because it is, I had good fun making it. I hope you enjoy it. But all collections, a big part of the driver of the value is the IP, the intellectual property, you know. So if we think about, you think about wrestling, for example, I've got about 3 or 4 different wrestling brands in here in terms of the manufacturer, but it's the IP that is what really is the driving force of the value, you know, because all the SoRare cards are officially licensed. So anything that is similar, that's not officially licensed, you're not going to have the same value attached to it, because IP, I can't say this enough, original Pokemon cards from the 90s, original, you know, Ninja Turtle comics from the 80s, you know, their original intellectual property, it's always what holds the highest value. It might even be a signature, because that's somebody's intellectual property, of course, or it could be a limited edition something. These are the things that hold value, okay? And it's part of the reason that I'm really excited about my SoRare collection, because it is all official IP, and it's all IP that I have a great affiliation to, which is world football, okay? So I just wanted to take this little segment of the video just to make that absolutely clear, and then I'll let you enjoy the rest of the video. Now, in my experience of collecting stuff, most of the stuff that I've ever kind of embarked in, or, you know, really dive deep into collecting, or something, anything I've ever really got passionate about, when it comes to like the collection itself, a lot of items fall into one of 2 categories for me. It'll either be something that's static or that is dynamic, okay? What I mean by that is something that's static, won't do anything other than be a display item. So something that I might keep in the box, or something that is like just generally an inanimate object, you know, it doesn't serve any real purpose or anything. It is just something that, for the sake of keeping, I've bought it, or memorabilia, nostalgia, that kind of thing. And then you get dynamic things that, you know, will fall into the collection, and it might even be dynamic things that can be displayed, or it could be something similar to like I spoke about in the channel previously, maybe something like another card game. It could be something like Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, whatever, where those items actually have a built-in purpose to the game, and if you're actually involved in the gameplay, then not only is it an item that will be sought after based on its rarity, how scarce it is, but also for how powerful it is within the game. And when it comes to SoRare, you know, the collectibles that we have here are 100% what I would term as a dynamic collectible, because it's something that has power, has utility, it has a purpose, and it does enhance gameplay. So they're the first 2 things we've got to establish, okay? Is you will have a variety of different things in the world of collecting that you can collect. Some of those things will be static and some of them will be dynamic. I have a lot of different like sub collections within my gallery. Some of them are like kind of Celtic based, so I like to buy ex-Celtic players. You know, I've got like Lewis Morgan, Andrew Gutman, and a few other different people. But probably the primary like sub collection that I've got in my gallery is my Americans in Europe. Okay, so I've got quite a decent collection. I actually really like the rig out I've got. Just bought the Yedlin last night after Galatasaray came on. I really actually like the Yedlin, and when it was kind of speculated upon that Galatasaray would be the next club joining us, maybe about a month ago or so, when people were kind of hypothesising and guessing just based on some of the hints that we had. Um, Yedlin at Galatasaray really popped for me because even though the guy's been in Europe for a while, Tottenham, Newcastle, he may want on loan to someone else, maybe Nottingham Forest or whatever. Galatasaray is definitely like the biggest standing of a club that Yedlin has been at, and to have a card, he might even win the league this year, in which case I would definitely be extra happy with this card if he was to win the league in Turkey. But my point being, I see Yedlin, American International. He was part of the, if we look at the age of the rest of the guys, I'm quite excited about. Like Chris Richards is 20, Weston McKennie, Timo Weah are both under 23 also. And then you get guys like Pulisic and Reina. They're all really in the same generation now. You've got this previous generation of American internationals like Miazga, like Yedlin, like who's the guy that just went back to Bobby Wood, So there's a lot of guys that didn't really make the mustard, or didn't really cut the mustard, that have kind of passed their careers in terms of the hype and being like the future of the national teams kind of passed them by, but they're still very much in the prime of their career. And having a guy like that at a European giant, Galatasaray, big historical club, then I was really happy to pick up that card, and I think it complements the rest of this collection really well. Timo Weah at Lille, Weston McKennie at Juventus. Now, even though I had Weston McKennie at Schalke, for example, and this is where the kind of personal element comes in, I know there's a big hype to now, and there always probably will be, around like the rookie card. I had the Schalke card for Weston McKennie, and as soon as I won that Juventus card, I was like, I do not want the Schalke one, because even though the rookie card has some credence and some value, for me, anyone who would be interested in picking up a Weston McKennie card, the Juve one is the one to have, because it's Juventus. It's the same as Serginho Dest. Serginho Dest is a little bit different, because his rookie card would have been Ajax, and that as a rookie card would have been amazing. But him being at Barcelona, if you can't get an Ajax card, or an Ajax card doesn't exist, a Barcelona one is just as good, because it's Barcelona. And then you've got the same with like Yunus Musa. His 1 of 100 went at point of recording 2 nights ago for like free ether or something like that. It went for absolutely crazy amounts, and that's again because it is number one, his ultimate rookie card, and it's Valencia, who are already a big team. It's not like Schalke are a big team as well, don't get me wrong, right? But Valencia, in my eyes, are definitely a bigger club than Schalke. So this ticked a lot of boxes on that front, and that's why it went for so much. Even the 2 of 100 went for 2.3, which is mental. I really hope that price comes down to something I can afford. I can add him to that little sub collection. The point of this little example that I've just walked you through being is, collections are individual. They are personal to you, so you might not be interested in American players in Europe. The reason I am is twofold. Number one, is good for the collection in general. It's a marketplace. You would expect there to be a constant growth in demand to some level. But number two, if you're not aware of this, I am actually half American myself. My dad's American. I've got a brother and sister live over there, and I've followed the MLS and the American national team for most of my life. Part of the reason for that is obviously I've got family and my blood's is kind of there and whatever. But Scotland haven't got to a World Cup since '98 or the Euros or anything. So having America to support the last couple of World Cups and whatever has been good for me. So that might not excite you. What might excite you might be picking up ex-players from a club that you support here in the UK, or you might be in another country, it could be the same kind of thing. Or you might just be interested in picking up cards that you are genuinely excited about. I'd probably say the under 23 contingent of my super rares is definitely a massive sub kind of collection within my gallery. And I've said it in videos before, but for me, super rares, if you're really wanting to back somebody and you're really wanting to have that kind of collectible, I think a super rare is a great place to be picking cards up. And a lot of the guys that I've got, like Cuisance, Hakimi, Akinola, Barco, even Nunez, Nemeka, Larson, definitely Renato Sanchez, hopefully Kessler and Efra Alvarez as well. All these guys, I'm really hoping with those super rares, I'm going to have those cards for ages. I know I will, because I won't sell a lot of them, if any of them, for a long time. But as their career progresses, I've got one card, I've got a super rare, and I can really feel a part of that card and that player's career trajectory. And again, it's personal. You might pick up a super rare and want to do something similar, but it might not be under 23. It could be like the Falcao, it could be the Ozil, it could be the Mario Götze, the Arjen Robben, the Andres Iniesta. It could be one of these older cards that you just want for the aesthetics of it's a World Cup winner, Champions League multiple time winner, you know, whatever it might be. But it's the same kind of thing I keep saying. It is personal to you, and what that means, number one, is you personally will build it, and it will be your makeup, and it'll be your collection, it'll be what you're collecting. But number two, it is you that determines the value on it. Now, this is a card I'm actually trying to hunt down for mainly my collection. I do expect to get some utility out of it, but throughout my football fandom, I have been a massive Radamel Falcao fan. So again, I think I've seen with Yedlin, when Galatasaray came on, I knew straight away I am getting a Falcao. I kind of felt the same way about Ozil at Fenerbahce, but I'm not as incentivised by my emotions to get an Ozil. I just kind of like Ozil, and I think he's a bit of a troll. So I kind of suspect he'll do well at Fenerbahce probably next season, because the season that we're in Turkey has like 10 games left at point of recording. But my boy Falcao, I've been a massive fan of. I'm thoroughly incentivised to acquire one of these cards. If I was to win one by chance, cool. But I'm not going to wait for that. I might win one by chance. I'm going to buy one from the auction. So the value on the Falcao is really down to me. So what you value the Falcao at, you probably won't meet any of these prices that these guys are at, because he's 34, 35. He's quite injury prone, even though his goals to minutes are still really good. But me personally, I'm looking at this and I'm really tempted by this Bruno Fernandes. I'm thinking about a quarter of a coin. I could spend that on a Falcao and be quite comfortable with the purchase, but you're always going to be eagle-eyed and try and get the best bang for your buck, you know. So I know that I actually value this card really highly for my collection and my collecting purposes, but I can bet almost my bottom dollar that the vast majority of people that will be picking this guy up to either flip him or to use him or whatever probably don't have the same attachment to Falcao that I have. I don't really have, as long as I'm a Atletico Madrid or a Porto supporter or whatever, but I just remember watching that guy and thinking, this guy is cursed. Lewandowski's kind of the same, to be hitting such form when Messi and Ronaldo were around. You know, when Falcao was at Atletico Madrid, slight tangent, and I'll move away from it quickly, Messi and Ronaldo were hitting 50 plus goals a season. This guy was hitting 30s and 40s and stuff, and it just got no recognition whatsoever. And because of that, I think we all kind of like the underdog. So for that reason, I have grown a bit of an affiliation and attachment to Falcao. In Football Index, he made me a fair bit of money when he was at Monaco. I did really well with buying and selling him in and out of injury and form. So I've got a lot of attachment to this guy. But again, that is personal to me. I'm not telling you that Falcao is a great collection piece that you have to go and buy. I'm telling you that is something that I have to go and buy, you know. So how you build your collection and how you value it is going to be deeply personal and intrinsically unique to your own financial standing, as well as the depth of collection and gallery you're going to build and how involved you are in the game. Okay, so a lot of the stuff we've been talking about really interacts really well with the kind of static side of collecting, like I was speaking about earlier in the video. Okay, what we also have in SoRare, of course, is this massive dynamic angle where there's active gameplay and rewards to be had, as well as monetary gain for unearthing the gem, as well as successful entries in the competitions. Okay, so when you have that as an added factor, you're then ideally looking, in my opinion, for pieces that you can acquire, like a Falcao, for example. This is just a personal example, right? That has some value to you in terms of the collection side of things, but you also know you have the ability to actually get it working for you. You know, it will actually go out, enter tournaments, score goals, score points, whatever. And when you're able to do that, that's when you'll find you've got a functioning collection, you've got a functioning gallery that is actually out there winning, helping you keep engaged, helping you stay involved in the action, and increasing your football knowledge and your fun, because that's what this is all about, guys, is own the game. Hashtag own your game, you know, that's what it's all about. So when you've got this dynamic angle at play as well, like the Yunus Musa, for example, Yunus Musa, 1 of 100, 17 years old at Valencia. That card right now isn't got much utility beyond the maybe circa 10 appearances he'll make this season, maybe 15 at a push. But because you own the card for life, you're then tracking that guy through his whole career. So yeah, you might be spending 3 ETH on a 1 of 100 now. Well, probably, I'd say about 80% of that price is the collection side of it, that it's 1 of 100 is rookie, and then the other 20%, maybe a quarter, maybe 25%, is on the utility, the dynamic aspect that card offers the owner. So it's important that you kind of judge that yourself. You know, I'm very happy to have a collection and a gallery that is very much multi-dimensional. I've got a lot of guys that, I've got a Shinsuke Nakamura, 42 years old. I'm never going to play him. He's at level 0 and I'll keep him that way. And equally then, I've got guys like young goalkeepers like Nubo, the Van de Voort, 1 of 100. It's probably one of the prized possessions of my collection. The rookie, ultimate rookie, 1 of 100 Van de Voort. I've got it on screen. I've just realised I've not got screen share on for this little segment. But some people that will play SoRare are all about the dynamic angle. And if it's all about the dynamic angle for you, then these static elements in terms of it being a rookie card or 1 of 100 or a high prospect player, they won't mean as much to you and you won't value it as much. It will upset you if you want that card for some reason, and the collection value aspect of it prices it out of the market for you. But unfortunately, that's just where the chips lie. You've got so many angles at play for the valuation when it comes to collecting that you have to understand that you, number one, have to be setting out parameters for, this is my limit of spend for card X, or for subsection of the gallery that is labelled Americans in Europe or super rare forwards, or whatever it is you decide to do. And once you stick to those parameters in a sound body and mind, the cold light of day, when there's no excitement, there's no rush of the ETH or a new club joining or whatever, those are the principles that you stick to when you build your collection. My collection in this room now is circa, I don't know, about £8,000 or something like that of toys. Some of it are in the box, some of them are out the box, some of them are signed. What I'll do is I'll show you this. So this is probably one of the best pieces I've got in this cupboard, right? This is Undertaker, right? OG 90s toy, in box. Got it hand signed personally myself. The autograph itself costs like 150 quid. The toy itself costs like 30 quid. So a piece like that, when it goes into my collection or when I acquire it or when I think, right, that's what I want to go and get, I set myself a budget and I know in my head, this is a toy that is going to stay in the box. I have zero use for it other than it gets hung on my wall. You don't even see it on the camera. It doesn't really offer me much vanity, in terms of, because some things you'll collect is a showpiece. It's like, I've got that, or I've got this, or I've got that, or I've got that one, kind of thing. So the value of that is very personal to me, and it's very personal to the fact that it's something that I know something about, it's something that I've got an attachment to, and it's something that I know I will be able to sell later on should I want the money for whatever price that I can command. Of that little row, by the way, I'll go back and show you. Now, this is actually the way the box came when I got it. Okay, so you can see there's 2 things scored out on the back. I think that's from the shop, because if you know anything about wrestling, those 2 guys left WWF at the time and went off somewhere else. But my point of showing you this on the back is I have all 6 of those toys hung up there, mint in box. All of them are signed except for the Michaels and the Goldust. So as soon as I've bought piece 1 of that, I've got in my head, because I collect things, I need to get all 6 of them mint in box. And then once I get a few of them signed, I then need to get them all signed, because that's how I work. That might not interest you. That might not be the way you operate when it does come to collecting or even playing SoRare. But what you do need to understand when it comes to the secondary market, and this kind of angle of the market grows and grows and grows, is there will be people like me that there is no real, if I told somebody, listen, see that Undertaker, that cost me like 180 quid, on the face of it, people are like, you've paid £180 for something that just hangs on the wall, doesn't come out the box, you can't touch it, you can't do anything with it, it is like useless for all intents and purposes. Some people just don't get that, and they never will. And that will be the same as SoRare. There'll be some people that just don't do that side of the game, and they just don't get it. And that's fine, But when it comes to building your SoRare collection, the kind of point I keep trying to make sure that I'm making on this video, it'll be the last attempt I'll make, and I'll leave you to it because I can see how long I've been recording for. But it's personal. It's down to you. What do you value? What are you chasing? What do you see as the next big marketplace to grow in terms of a player who's the next Mbappe, or who's the next Christian Pulisic, or whatever it might be, and make sure you're making decisions and you're making purchases for you. Not that you think other people would expect you to make, or you think, oh, if I don't have this card, or, especially because it's football, it should reflect your personality. This whole gallery, this whole collection should reflect your football knowledge and your fandom, 100%, Most important thing, guys, is you have fun with it. It really, really is. The gameplay's phenomenal. I really like the collection aspect of it. I really do. I think it's under kind of, what's the word? It's kind of unspoken. It's kind of becoming a bit more of a topic as time rolls on. But I just wanted to take this opportunity to have a wee chat about my kind of thoughts, my kind of approach to it, and just to kind of remind you, there's no right way. It's your way. That's all it is, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you do like the video, if you like anything I said at any point, please like it. It means a lot. mean, somebody else might eventually stumble across this video and they might like it as well. If you find you're watching a couple of these videos, please subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to me, helps me grow. On screen now is going to be some more stuff you might like that I've made. Stay out of trouble. And I'll see you on the next one of these videos.
It's the time.